The more that I learn about El Aynaouri and that I watch him, I really like this player. And he seems to be the quintessential central midfielder that Gasperini needs to make his team play the way that he wants. And what is that? That's high pressing, winning the ball back, bursting into the penalty box to try to get ahead on something, winning the ball back also on the ground, and fighting to keep it and advance it, whether that's with a through ball or dribbling or just sheer speed. But in this case, it's also the intelligence. And I think that El Aynaouri offers a little bit of everything. And like I said, yeah, the more that I watch, the more I see these highlights, I'm like, this guy, there's something special about this 23-year-old Moroccan. And I think he could be a sleeper pick of the Mercato around like world football. I have a really good feeling about this new number 8. And who wore that previously? Matic was an excellent player under Mourinho, of course. And then Bove. I'm not sure, actually, not to go off on a tangent, I'm not sure what's going to happen with Bove, if he'll be allowed to play in Serie A again. I know there is a issue because he has a defibrillator of a sort. Maybe that's the wrong word. A pacemaker. That's what I'm looking for. And I don't think that you can play in Italy with a pacemaker. So I want to see what happens. Of course, Fiorentina don't activate. They're not going to purchase him. Can't play. So I do think he's still on Roma's books. But back to our man of the hour now. I really like this for 23 plus 2 million euros. That's what this is going to end up being. And him with Kone, that to me, I think could be a really special something here. If we take a look at the dynamics between them, right? And I want to share this screen with you real quick. There we go. A little Aynaouri, right? Takes that number 8. Him and Kone, what's that going to be like? It's going to be fast. It's going to be hard-nosed. And I think that between the two of them, the two French-speaking people on this team, that there's going to automatically and hopefully be some chemistry from the get-go. If we look at the full team here, it looks pretty good. What you might notice is there's a couple players, though, included here which haven't been mentioned or haven't been included. One of those is in the bottom, or actually at the top here. That's the right center back, Ghilardi. I think this is probably incorrect. I think that Ghilardi will be definitely at the center or on the left. But that's just based upon how I've seen him play so far. That's not done yet. Why is that not done yet? Well, it seems that the bid to Verona was about 9 million euros, but there's a 50% fee to Fiorentina. That when he gets sold, Verona have to pay Fiorentina 50%. So if it's 9 million, they walk away with only 4.5. That's not good enough. So they're holding out for really something closer to 12. I could see it end around 10.5 or even 11 with bonuses, perhaps a bit more. But I want to see this happen as well. I think Ghilardi would be an excellent asset. I think he's the captain of the U21 team. He's also very strong. He's a great tackler of the ball. And he would be someone that I think Gasperini could depend on from the get-go across his back three. So interchanging with Indica, Kambula, and Mancini. The more I think about it, the more I play with it, I really think Mancini has to be at the center whenever he plays. Also for speed, he's not the quickest center back, but Ghilardi, being a young guy, 22 years old now, he's definitely going to have those legs with him. But I think we need to go back to our boy here. Let's take a look once again at this. This came from Rete Sport. They made this graphic. And yeah, I'm going to point out that Raspadori is not on this team yet, but Wesley looks very close, and you'll see him. This is upside down, of course, at the right wing back position. And we'll have another episode on him when he gets closer, and that should be happening any day now. But what about this deep dive, El Aynaouri? What makes him so special? Okay, so when we think about this 3-4-1-2, 3-4-3 that Gasperini is going to play, right? And before I forget, shout out to our friend Vin to this channel. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Vinny. And also, this question comes from another friend of mine, friend to this channel, Ben. And we were talking in our group chat about El Aynaouri and what type of player is he? Is he going to be like the Cristante under Gasperini? Is going to be that like attacking midfielder? I don't think so. I do really think, like as you see here, he's going to be one of the two center midfielders. Why? He's got that energy. He's got the off-the-ball movement. He can change his positions as well. He played striker when he was younger, and some people say he's a defensive midfielder. I think he's very central. He's got that verticality to him as well that Gasperini demands, right? He's going to focus on exploiting half spaces, turning like half spaces somewhere, not the touchline and not the center, but somewhere in between. It's called the half space, and getting into the final third, right? Also supporting. One thing that Gasp likes to do is he likes his overloads. So if the attackers on the flank have the ball, he's going to look to get his midfielders, his central midfielders in particular, to create missed numbers or man disadvantages or advantages for Roma, right? It might be 4 midfielders against 3 or 4 players, whatever, against 3, and constantly trying to get more numbers and create diamonds around the pitch is something he really likes to do. Also, like I mentioned, those defensive contributions. He's an excellent interceptor. He's got a good tackle to him as well. So he's somebody who's going to provide a lot of balance. Looking back at last season, 9 goals and 5 assists in 32 matches across all comps. He's got an eye for goal as well. You could put him a little bit more forward, and he's going to score. A few of those were penalties. He had 2 headers and 3 goals from open play, and those were with his right foot. So he can do a little bit of everything, kind of like Pasalic, kind of like Ederson, right? That's the mold that we're seeing here from this type of player. One standout attribute, or I should say, statistic is he ranked in 94th and 95th percentile for interceptions and blocks, respectively, which shows that, look, he's a defensive wall when he wants to be, when he's locked in. So he's got that aggressiveness about him. He's got the all-round midfielder type or box-to-box, right? That's a very, I don't know, generalization, right? We think box-to-box. We think just like these runners, right? These guys who go out there and they just run around. One thing that I did want to bring up is he was about to go to Monaco. Monaco is a wealthy team. And one thing which kept him from going there, one thing that prevented him was that he failed the medical. So I think that he did have a type of injury earlier on, whether that was last year or a year and a half ago, in that he wasn't going to be staying at Lens. And I did read some comments from fans of Ligue 1 who were saying that now Lens has really lost the heart and lungs behind their team. So long story short, we've got El Aynaoui, and he's going to play in the middle of this 3-4-2-1 or 3-4-3, right? Because he's got that stamina, he's got that goal-scoring ability, and that defensive work rate. He's a high-energy midfielder. He's going to crash into the box. He's going to attack space, and he can do a little bit of everything, which is why I think that if we talk about Richard Rios for a hot second, which is why I think that maybe, just maybe, this guy is a better fit. And look, I wanted the Colombian to come over. I thought that he was very talented. But the many things that El Aynaouri does are much better than what Rios offered. And that's the truth. One thing which made Rios so appealing is that he's an excellent dribbler, and that's very kind to the eye. We like players who can do that dribble out of space, dribble past players, right? But what El Aynaouri is going to do is he's going to use his brains, he's going to use his physicality, his great passing, his ruggedness, his athleticism, to help advance that ball up the pitch. And I think that's just as important, if not more. I think, honestly, he's the more pragmatic purchase, guys. And I'm not just saying that to be like a hype guy. I think that if I had to pick, look, Rios had a really good Copa America in 2024, but around the Brazilian league, he was okay. Like, he was really good, but maybe even really good to stretch. He was good. And I think for the money that Palmeiras were asking, around 30 million, and Benfica, he's going to go to them. I could see why he chooses them. Maybe he plays good at Benfica, and then he gets, the promotion to Barcelona. There's more eyes on him because he's playing in the Champions League. I get it. But if it's my money, I'll take that extra 5 million or 7 million, right? And I'll put it towards somebody like Ghilardi to help complete the rest of the team. Let me know what you guys think about that. We just have one more question here I want to go over, or I should say one more thing to look at. And that is the third kit. I'm going to pull it up real quick. It leaked. It's apparently going to be coming out before the second kit is revealed, which is kind of interesting. So real quick, off of my Twitter here, popping it up, found this. I love this kit. Somebody said, I think it was, who was it in our group chat? They mentioned that it kind of looks like a Wimbledon kit, maybe Matt Campea. And I think that it does. It does look a little bit like a tennis shirt. And that's maybe why I like it. But it's got the trefoil logo. that you see on the right side of the chest and the vintage ASR logo on the left. Why green and yellow? This pays homage to Alba Audace, which is one of the teams which was formed when Roma was created. There's my buddy Tony Guru, Roma, La Roman Bomber. He's a good follow on Twitter as well, retweets a lot of interesting content. So let me know what you think. You think that's a plus? You think that's a minus? I'm keeping it. I think I might actually. I don't buy a lot of gear when it's new. I'll look for like deals on eBay and stuff, or some vintage stuff. Maybe like a Felipe Mexes shirt would be something like more up my alley. But I think that this, man, with like Dybala on the back, or would be a good second pick here. Maybe even Sule, right? That would be a good one 10 years from now. What's that kit going to look like, and what are people going to look back on and think, oh, yeah, that was such a great buy at the time. So let me know what you think. We'll talk soon. When there's big updates, I'll be back. Talk to you soon.